Hey everybody, this is Derek and Crystal Oliver, and we're Budget Me Black, and today is Friday, so it's Financial Freedom Friday, and we are so excited to have our guest on tonight. So we have Reggie and Kim Davis, and so we're so excited to have them on tonight with us.
Man, we been in similar circles, friends, and relationally, and we finally had the opportunity to sit down and talk for lunch and connect. And it was great just hanging out with you guys and connecting and learning so much about you guys. And we shared, and we actually talked about business as well.
Yeah.
And so and that's what we have you on for, just to kind of share to the people like your journey, your entrepreneurial, say that correctly, entrepreneurial journey. And so I'm going to start off with the first question. I just want to, first of all, how long have you guys been married?
All right, so we've been married for 21 years. As of October the 7th, we just celebrated 21 years.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? I can't even believe
21 years. Wow. It's amazing.
And it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, so you're having fun. It goes by fast. You're having fun, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's been a good marriage.
It's been great.
Talk a little bit about your business, okay? So what are you currently doing? And then give us your why. What is your why for what you do?
So what we're currently doing is, especially as a couple, we actually have a financial services business. It's through an organization called Primerica. But what we do is we help families, make sure that they are properly protected, with their life insurance, their income is protected. We make sure that they're saving towards retirement, and then that they have a financial game plan, which most middle income families need, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I got started initially in the business. We've been clients for over 20 years, since before I even got married. I had life insurance with Primerica. But what made me decide to go into business initially on my own first was that I felt like there was something more that I wanted to do. And so, and I'm talking about my why right now. So I really wanted to do something that was impactful and that would help others. I've been in the corporate world for 20 something, almost 30 years, but I realized that what I can do, what I enjoy doing, which is helping people, helping families, I had to just figure out how to make a living doing it.
Yes.
So someone approached me with Primerica for the second time. And then I finally was like, you know what? I love doing this. I love doing budgets. I love helping people create game plans. I love it. So I joined this business, and we have our own financial firm. We're both licensed, in insurance and investments. And so that was just a part of, what we wanted to do anyway, come up with a business plan for ourselves. And then Reggie jumped on board a few years back. And now, we're both excited about it, creating this vision for our family.
Yeah.
Good. So tell us your career background. Like, where you started, what career background or industry that you started in, and then how did you? Well, you kind of explained how you kind of came to Primerica, but just kind of take us to your journey.
So after college, of course, I got in the corporate world, and I worked for some Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 100 companies, actually, in a couple of capacities, mostly in sales and marketing. So I've done that, throughout my career. But I was always searching for something else, something else. But, starting out with AT&T years ago, and then Levi Strauss and Company, the Blue Jean Company. And to this day, I still look at people's behinds, trying to see that little tag on their back. I can't, it's almost hard to stop doing that. But I did that for many, many years, enjoyed my career at Levi Strauss. Then I went to Kimberly-Clark. I worked for my father and my father's company. I still work for them doing, full time during the day, but it's a family business. So, it's hard to not work in a family business, but that's an awesome business as well. But, that's my story. That's how I started. I've always been in sales, always been in marketing, got a degree in education. Never taught, but I teach now. I teach financial education now.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, so I started off in finance, pursued a finance degree, started working in banking. Did that for about 6 years and realized just wasn't happy. Raises would happen, promotions would happen. And after that first or second check, I'd still be like, here we go, back to work again. And then I've kind of God opened a door for me to start working in the nonprofit sector. And that really sort of changed my trajectory in life. Like it helped me to understand what my purpose was. And so every job I've had since then, it's been wrapped around my purpose in one way or another, which I believe my purpose is helping others find their way to freedom, which is, and I define freedom as being who God called you to be and doing what he called you to do. And when you get to that sweet place and that sweet space, life is good and it is living. Right? Yeah. So I'm still doing nonprofit work, 18 years in, a couple of different organizations, but really focus on doing work that helps others become their best versions of themselves and live out purpose.
Yes, I love the idea of you just used the word freedom, and I'm learning the more that I work with people how much financial freedom frees them in so many other areas.
Come on,
so many areas.
I met with like 3 or 4 people today, and like Derek is like, Crystal, when we're talking to people, he's like, we're literally changing the whole trajectory of their lives.
You will.
And they're able to follow their purpose, their God-given purpose, just by getting free from debts and all this other stuff. And so I love what you guys are doing. I love what we do.
Yes, I love it too.
It's an inside thing. You know what I'm talking about.
And you know what?
Give me a story. Give me somebody, and now I'm going off the script a little bit. But give me somebody that you're like, man, I can see how what we have done. Just an example of how what we have done has literally changed their lives. Like, do you have anybody like that?
I'll give you an example. Yeah, I've got a couple examples, but I'll give you an example of a person, I won't call names, who had life insurance, but had the wrong type of life insurance. They were actually paying like $1,200 a month in life insurance. It included their life insurance on themselves, and individual policies on children, which is ridiculous. Individual policies on children, policy on the mom, all adding up to about $1,200 a month in premium payments. So of course she was strapped, for money, because a lot of her money was going in wrong spots. So when we got with her, shared with her, the purpose of life insurance and how much she really needed, and the fact that every child does not need their own individual policy. There are riders on policies. We ended up getting her insured for the same $1 million for $300.
Wow. Wow.
And so then the next thing we did, of course, was we gave her 1 month to, catch up on some things, because we knew that extra, that $900 now that she's not paying, she could catch up on some things. So she was able to catch up on some bills and then start investing. Because she didn't have an investment account. So imagine you paying out all of this money, but you don't even have a savings or an investment account. You don't even have retirement. So that was impactful, and her eyes were just open. And she's on a path. She's on a path, on a plan to better her life. But that was just giving her information and letting her make a quality decision, and she did.
Wow.
So,
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I want to ask you guys this. What about the roles in the business? That's always a big thing with couples working together. You're seeing each other at home, you're seeing each other at work or doing your business together. How do y'all, get the roles? What roles do you guys play, and how do you guys get all that stuff sorted out?
Those roles.
Define those roles.
Yeah, so that could be pretty tough if you don't define roles, because you're stepping on each other, or somebody's not doing something's not getting done because nobody's identified. So what we have done was create. Well, I started the business first. I've already gotten all my licenses first. So I got my investment license. I've gotten my life insurance license. Reggie's now just about to finish his investment license. So for the most part, the roles look like this. He was my cheerleader. Now he's actually on the team. So I am the lead agent. I go out and I recruit. And I also do policies, but now Reggie is the one that's doing more of the recruiting. He's now going out, and he's also the one who's encouraging the team, trying to encourage the team, because we have people that we have that are going alongside with us, encouraging the team, making sure that they are getting what they need, making sure that they understand what the goals are. So you want to share a little bit about your role?
Yeah, and so as Kim mentioned, she's also the coach, right? Like
Oh, he can be a coach.
I take pride in being the hype man, right?
Yeah.
Like you would never want me to be your lead MC. But you need that dude on the stage.
You always need that
dude. And like that's a gift God has given me. And so like even like when it comes to the church or whatever, like God has given me this energy that I'm able to sometimes transfer over to others and keep them motivated. And so like we really just spoke about this about a week ago. Like I'm going to the way I energize spaces with church and with my nonprofit work, we're going to do that within the business, right? Like, so I'm going to be that motivational person. I'm going to be the one who, I'll still do the recruiting, we'll both do that, but like she's actually going to take in new teammates and coach them, but I'll be that one sending out the emails. I'm the kind of the glue even in my office. It's like I'm the person who says, hey, we need to all come together and go do this event together, because of a team that not only works well together, they play together, right? They spend time together. They build that camaraderie, right? You think about I'm a sports fan, right? And I got 100 sports analogies. But when you think about championship teams, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, you start listening to them as they come close to that championship game. They talk about, man, we were a family. We were so tight. Like we would go to dinner together. We would do these things together. And that means something, right? Like, and so I'm going to be the curator of those moments for our team as well. So, but then, let's be honest, you can't have a business as a couple and not have all the roles, because house, home, right? And so, it all integrates. And so like Kim and I, like, pastor and wife of a church, 3 daughters, 2 full-time jobs, and a business. Man. And so if we don't have some coordination happening,
right,
and some flexibility,
some frustrated folks.
Yeah, and sometimes you supplement roles, right? Like and at the drawing, I thought I was gonna be able to do this today. I need you to okay, and so but it's a teamwork. It is definitely a teamwork.
Yeah.
That was actually gonna be my next question for y'all. Is how do y'all do it all?
You know what? If I think about it, I might just cry, because I don't know how I'm doing it all. I don't know. I tell you what, it doesn't feel like, neither one of my jobs feel like work. My business doesn't feel like work. Working in my family business with my parents and that doesn't feel like work. So putting myself in a place where I feel like I'm able to use my best self and I'm appreciated and I feel like there's value, it doesn't feel like work. What feels like work is coming home having to cook. Woo!
Right.
That's work. But try doing it all. I don't do it all. I don't even try to do it all. It just appears that way. But we still try to find time for one another. We have date night, like this is date night. Friday nights usually date night. We pick date nights any time of the week though. But Friday nights we usually try to, not do anything separate. We like to, at least try to do that Friday night. But, trying to maximize our time, while we're 6 feet above, because, we could easily be 6 feet under. So using that time wisely so that we can get the things done that we desire, Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, the reason why I feel like I'm able to do whatever I'm doing, and I've learned to say no to things that
they don't align with the mission.
Align with the purpose, right? Like what Rick Warren wrote the book 20 years ago, I guess at this point now, Purpose Driven. and that's how I'm able to keep going, because I don't do stuff I don't feel like it's a part of my purpose, right?
Yeah.
And so long as I feel like I'm in his will and I'm doing those things that he has for me in this season of my life, I don't really even get tired. Like people, I don't know how y'all doing all that.
We don't. I don't even know. I don't even know either.
Reggie, how long did it take you to get to that place where you said, "Man, this is not part of my mission. This is not part of the season. It's not the season I'm in right now." When did you get to that place of like, you know what? I have to say no to even good opportunities.
Yes.
When did you get to that place?
Honestly, about 6 years ago.
Okay.
Honestly, about 6 years ago. And I'll be honest, like the moment for me was 2016. I'm never away. 40 years old, and there was just something about that moment, man. Like so many things. As much as I thought my life was so aligned and I was purpose driven, like things changed, like perspective changed. My worldview changed. And literally I thought this. My dad died, unfortunately, at the age of 67. No, not even 67, 62. I'm sorry. He was 62. And I'm sitting here going, I'm 40. Now, it's not to say they don't die, but let's just say I only have 22 years left.
Wow, that's good. Yes.
And I said, man, I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to feel like I was spending time somewhere where I shouldn't have been spending time, or I wasn't spending time places where I should have been spending time. And it just changed for me. So I was able to say no to things and do it with love and respect, and say, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that right now. But the things that I'm in, I'm committed to.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. So you guys been married 21 years, so you guys have a ton of wisdom to offer to younger couples. All right. So what advice would you give to younger couples who marry, who wants to work together in business, who wants to go on a mission together, who wants to have a more fulfilled type of work environment, or have more fulfilling type of work? What advice, and managing the kids and managing all of the other different things that they're involved in? What advice, after all these years, y'all been doing it and going hard at it?
Ooh, that's so loaded. We got so much to say. We need a part two. Man, I tell you what. We need a part two. Now, let me give you the advice that I always give young couples that we kind of mentor. First of all, love ain't got nothing to do with a lot of it. Because you can fall out of love in a second. Just let him look at you side or say something to you. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not really not out of love, but it's really about the respect, and it's really about communication. And if you keep those things in the back of your mind, that, you know what, I want him to feel like when he comes home, that we are glad he's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That at the end of it all, if he feels like he's glad that somebody's glad he's home, I give him a hug. When we don't miss it. If we miss it, we looking at each other like, wait, I didn't get my hug. I didn't get my, because we feel like that's, you know what, that communication, that's I'm communicating to him that I want him, that I need him. When when I hug him when he comes home, or he gives me a kiss on my forehead, and that goes a long way with how we feel towards one another and showing it. Right? You ain't gotta say I love you all day. That sometimes it doesn't even feel like it. Like I'm mad or whatever. But at the end of it all, I want him to feel like the king in the home.
Right.
Right. I want him to feel like if nobody cares for him, anybody disrespect him outside of this house, when he comes here, he realizes what his real true role is. And his God-given role. So as a young couple, create that energy. That, you know what, we as women, we define the home. I promise you, we define the mood of the home, right? We can change it in a minute. So we as women, young women especially, I know sometimes we get in our feelings because we feel like they ain't doing what they're supposed to do. They're okay. Get rid of all of that. Even though you feel that way, it's valued. We understand it, but you define the role in your home. You define how the mood. You do. I know I do. I come home and I look kind of grumpy. I don't look grumpy very much, but when I come home and if I'm not smiling or if I'm not, hey y'all, they're looking at me like, what's wrong? What, mama, what's wrong? What's going on? Because they're expecting that from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's, my advice to women is to make sure that you understand the role of your husband and that you treat him how God desired you to treat him. Help him.
Mm-hmm.
You're the helpmate. Help him.
Mhm.
Help him be the man that God has called him to be. And you get everything you want. Get everything you want. Treat him like a king. Go ahead, babe.
Wow. Like, I got so many things running through my head, and I know I don't have time for all of them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say a few things, and I'm not going to elaborate on. I'm just going to make a few points. One, specifically to the brothers, right? Paul wrote, husband, love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? Well, watch this. This is the hard part. And gave himself for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sacrifice his life
Mm-hmm.
for her. And that's not like us giving blood away. That's like giving up that thing that you want to do for her. Stepping away from a football game because she asked you to do X, Y, Z.
That did happen too.
Right? Like, making personal sacrifices for her good. Two, man, this is gonna sound so cheesy and corny, but I learned this lesson from a movie called Bruce Almighty. Like, it was a comedy, right? But Bruce and God, Morgan Freeman, had this moment, right? And I'll never forget this. He had lost his girl, and he said, help me to see Grace the way you see her.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, boy. God, help me to see Kim the way you see her. Even when she has pissed me off.
Yeah.
Help me to see her the way you see her. And like, that has become one of my prayers. Like, God, help me to see this woman the way you see her. And I know he sees her with a ton of love as his precious gift and creation, and help me to see her that way, right? And then Kim, lastly, I probably got 20 other things, but this whole idea about a helpmeet. Older woman in our life, my brother-in-law's mother said this to me one day. He said, now, baby, God gave this woman to be your helpmeet, King James version. And, I was a little young whippersnapper, thought I could teach a little something. I said, well, it really means like a helpmate. And she said, no, it doesn't. It means help me. God gave you this woman to help you meet your purpose in him. I said,
oh, wow.
I said, okay.
I said it like that before.
Okay.
Yeah.
and it registers for me. So, like, I also have to remind myself, like, even when she's challenging me, and, sometimes brothers, we don't want to be challenged. Even when we're wrong, we don't want to be challenged.
Right.
But, like, she's not challenging. Like, I can honestly say,
all right, y'all, come back to us. Come back to us.
When you have that, when you kind of nurture that kind of relationship.
Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all went out on us for like 2 seconds. Right at the help me part.
Oh, well, it was so good too.
Miss about what? How much time did you miss? Like
probably about
15,
5 seconds.
Okay, so I'll try to.
Third point though, Reggie.
So you didn't hear the third point?
Yeah, we did hear it, but I think it was at the guy was elaborating about the help meet part.
Okay, so
yeah.
Yes. So basically, I tried to correct her and said, well, it really means helpmate in this version. And she said, no, I want to go to the King James version because God gave you this woman to help you meet your purpose in him, right? And like, I think about that often because there are times when, Kim is calling me up. And it doesn't, in that moment, it doesn't feel like she's calling me up. It feels like she's, and I've had to remind myself, like, no, she's helping me meet my purpose. She's calling me up so that I can be the man, the husband, the father, the pastor that God has called me to be. And I do know this woman has never like said anything to me to belittle me, right? And so sometimes I have to check myself and say, like, she's only helping me meet my purpose.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And I was just gonna share that when you get to and it's not get to that place because you're never there. We're always striving to do better. But when you're trying to build a business together, if you want to do this as a young couple, you just have to remember that there's a whole lot of other things, personnel, all this other, you're learning yourself already. So to grow into a business together, you just got to be real careful and realize, give each other grace. You may mess up, but don't blame the other. Just give each other grace and just remember that the valleys grow you. You know, that's when you get into the valleys, don't give up.
Yeah.
That's where you're growing. That's where your growth comes from. We have been in many valleys, and hills and valleys, and the valleys are the ones that make us stronger. I think our relationship is stronger today because of all of the valleys we've had. And we've had them because it's life, and we should not tell people to avoid them. I don't want any young people to think that this is all sugar coated. Marriage is work. It's work. Yeah. And it's worthy work. Yeah. And God has a purpose, and he's designed the Davis clan. He designed us purpose. I was 34 when I got married, y'all. 34.
25 over here.
He's 25, but anyway.
Yo, Derek, your young boy has some game over here.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I waited for him. God sent him. I was 34. I turned 30 and I was the president of the singles ministry in my church. I was that single. I was president. Wow. But that during that season of my life, and then Reggie told me he wanted to marry me, and we were married 9 months later. And there was that's when we started dating, after he told me he wanted to marry me. We hadn't even dated. That's a whole nother story. We got
to have y'all on again.
Yeah, but I'm telling you though, when God sends your helpmeet, don't take it lightly, because he designed this.
Yes.
So that's awesome. I'm grateful, and I thank y'all for
that's the part. When we sat down the first time for lunch, and even in this encounter that we're having now, that's the part that I love about you guys. You don't sugarcoat it. You tell the real. You tell the good,
got time for that.
The ugly. You tell everything. It always comes back to love and focusing on Christ, and always
and respecting one another, and respecting who I am, respecting who he is. Even though we're trying to learn who we are, we still have to respect the process of learning who you are. It's a process. You have to go through it.
Ongoing process. So, man, we so glad you came on.
Thank y'all.
Came to share all the wisdom, all the truth, all the game. So I'm glad to have you guys on, man. We got to do a part 2 for sure.
Yes, I would love to. I thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for what you all do.
Yes.
Man, we need to duplicate y'all like 20 times. You know how many people need to understand how to do a budget? How to understand how to grab their finances by the reins. It's just I'm kudos to you guys.
Thanks, man.
EMB, baby.
Well, thank y'all so much again. And we kept y'all longer than we told y'all we would keep you. But
it's okay. We're good.
So good.
We're so good. Thank y'all.
People are encouraged and just know that they can do it. That's the whole point of what we're doing with Marriage, Money, and Mission. Just this segment is just to show married couples that y'all can do this. So many of us think we can't work together. We can't make our money together. We can't be on mission together. And so what we're trying to do is put images in front of them, people in front of them that's doing it.
I love it.
I love what y'all are doing. We appreciate y'all so much. And
awesome.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Y'all too. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.